Heavily armed police swarmed Florida State University after a gunman opened fire inside the Student Union building just before noon today.
I was honestly in shock. My hands were shaking. Just adrenaline kicked in, and I really didn't know what to do. I started tearing up, just like I was scared.
This video apparently shows the shooter on campus. He turns and fires a handgun as people run away. A victim lies nearby. 2 people were killed. Neither were students. 6 others were transported to a local hospital. Tallahassee Police Department Chief Lawrence Ravel.
We have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. We have hundreds or thousands of witnesses.
Panicked students scrambled to safety. Some even ran through traffic, while others took cover inside their classrooms. Anna Cabanasiak, a freshman, exchanged messages with her friends who were hiding.
They just said they're scared, they're in lockdown, and they just want to go home.
The alleged shooter, seen here being loaded into the back of an ambulance and shackled, has been identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, an FSU student who was shot by police. Officials say he is the son of a local sheriff's deputy and used one of her weapons that was found at the scene. Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil.
We will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to folks that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across the state.
Police say the shooter was a longtime member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office's Youth Advisory Council and had a series of engagements with the training programs involved with the department. As of now, there is no motive that has been released.
Skylar Henry in Tallahassee. Thank you.
A tearful day at Florida State University where students returned to campus just one day after that deadly shooting. A makeshift memorial at the Tallahassee school where a gunman opened a fire during a rampage, killing 2 people and wounding 6 more. The gunman, identified as the son of a sheriff's deputy, arrived on campus 1 hour before the shooting. Police say that he walked in and out of buildings and green spaces firing a handgun just before lunchtime. A grad student telling ABC News that she pretended to be dead after being shot.
I know for certain if I was moving, he would have shot me again.
What is it like thinking about that?
The thing is in that moment, it was more calm, out of body. There were no tears, there were no panics. It was just, what can I do to handle the situation?
More about that suspect. He's a 20-year-old Florida State student. He's now in custody. Authorities have not yet revealed a motive for the shooting.
With his mother's profession, he had access to weapons.
He was indeed steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Department community, according to the sheriff there, Lindsay. His name is Phoenix Eichner, 20 years old, the son of an active duty Leon County Sheriff's deputy, an 18-year veteran. And we did a quick lookup of her biography, and it seems, at least for a time, she served as a school resource officer, someone who went to campuses in order to protect them from this kind of violence. According to the sheriff, her son did have access to one of her service weapons that was among the weapons found by investigators at the scene. He was confronted by law enforcement almost immediately after the shooting at FSU began, according to police, and did not comply with commands. That's when police officers shot him, injured him. He's now in custody at the hospital, but declined to make any statements, we're told, because he invoked his Miranda rights. But he did damage 2 people dead who are not students at FSU, and then the injured taken to the hospital, Lindsay.
Well, I was leaving the student union with my lunch, and there's a road right next to it, and a guy pulled up in an orange Hummer, and he was waving around a rifle and let off a shot towards me and this other group of students, but missed. And so we all kind of got really alarmed, and we were like, what the heck? And then he turns back into his car and gets the pistol, and that's when he turns forward and shoots the lady in front of him in the back while she was walking. And after that, I just ran and just could hear the shots echoing.
And this was inside of the student union or outside?
This was outside on the grass right next to it. He started there and was shooting people out there.
Do you get the sense that this person, the shooter, was working alone?
I honestly don't know. I just know it looked like a normal college white dude, khaki shorts, t-shirt. He had a really nice car. I don't know. He just To me, he just looked like a student until he pulled out the gun.
How far were you from the shooter? Several feet, several yards?
I was probably like, a couple yards. Like, it could have been me if he would have put it on me, but he didn't.
And were you able to see the gunman's face?
Yeah, I don't know how I would describe him. He was just like a white guy, lighter hair, like light brown, maybe blonde even. Little, stocky. I don't know. He just looked like a normal boy.
But what about the eyes? I mean, you can gather so much about someone through their eyes. Was there rage behind their eyes?
Angry.
Okay.
I don't know what color the eyes were. It was a little bit too far away for that. But I know he, looked angry. And that's why at first when he was waving around the rifle, I thought it maybe could have been a BB gun or somebody messed with his girlfriend or something and he was trying to scare the dude next to me. But then when he turned his attention and got the pistol and turned towards the other lady and just shot her, I knew he had no target and it was just shoot everybody. And that's when I took off. I don't know. I just feel lucky. I just keep thinking about the woman in purple scrubs. I don't know.
The woman in purple scrubs, is that the woman who you saw?
Yeah, he turned around and shot in the back, yeah.
Did anybody respond to help? Were people helping her or what? Or you just ran and didn't look back?
I couldn't tell you. I ran as fast as I could, so fast, my AirPods fell out. I didn't even grab them. And then I called the police, but the lines were busy, so then I called my mom. My first call out was 11:57 was when I called them.
I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I have been from the beginning. I protected it. And these things are terrible. But the gun doesn't do the shooting. The people do. It's, a phrase that's used probably too often. I will tell you that it's a shame. As far as legislation is concerned, this has been going on for a long time. I have an obligation to protect the Second Amendment. I ran on the Second Amendment, among many other things. And I will always protect the Second Amendment.
2 Aramark dining employees were tragically killed during a shooting on Florida State University's campus. Tiru Chaba, a regional VP visiting from South Carolina, and longtime dining coordinator Robert Morales were both gunned down by 20-year-old student Phoenix Eichner, who opened fire on Thursday. What began as an ordinary day turned devastating in seconds as chaos spread across campus. 6 others were injured before Eichner, who used his deputy mother's gun, was shot and taken into custody. Colleagues remembered Chaba as a kind leader and Morales as a beloved husband and father.
The Florida State University shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. He is the son of Leon County Sheriff's Deputy Jessica Eichner. There is an interview with him on FSU News about an anti-Trump protest. People are saying he was in support of the anti-Trump, anti-Israel protests. However, I have not been able to confirm that. But here is a quote from his interview. These people are usually pretty entertaining, usually not for good reasons. Phoenix Eichner, a political science major, said, "I think it's a little too late. Trump, is already going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and there's really not much you can do unless you outright revolt, and I don't think anyone wants that." This is from his mother's Facebook page. It is believed that he used one of her guns. She posted, "All of y'all better be looking at your children's grades. Don't act shocked when they have D's and F's. If they had those grades at the end of the 9 weeks, they had those grades the majority of the 9 weeks. Accountability is key." Very interesting statement. He was also involved in the police youth advisory program. There's also a review he left from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. However, I personally don't find this relevant. There's a lot of people that like video games and they still don't commit these crimes. This is by far my favorite game of all time. Its story is freaking fantastic, though you seriously need to play the other games too. It's like freaking The Last of Us good. It still holds up today. Every gamer needs to play the mode. First-hand witnesses say that they saw him exit a very nice orange Hummer with an assault rifle. He waved it around, fired a shot, then reached back in his car, got a pistol, and shot a woman in the back that was walking. This is horrific. I cannot even imagine what everybody involved is going through. Something needs to change. We know what it is that needs to change.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this video. This will be a 2-part because this is a very long, I'll be talking, and a lot of news segments because I haven't seen a college shooting since I graduated high school. That was back in 2007, the Virginia Tech shooting, where that Asian guy just went spraying everywhere, right? Back then. And I just think this is very sad that these school shootings are happening back to back like this. And it's crazy that an adult man would actually do this. Not even a child. So, in the wake of the deadly shooting in Florida State University on Thursday, a portrait of, what's his name, Phoenix Eichner, the gunman, the stepson of local sheriff deputy, has emerged. At least 2 people were killed and 6 others were injured when shots rang out near the Tallahassee Institute Student Union, officials said during a press conference. First responders shot the suspect on campus, and he has since been hospitalized. He was taken into custody with non-life-threatening injuries. Phoenix Eichner was identified during the press conference. At the press conference, authorities described Eichner as the son of Leon County Sheriff's Deputy Jessica Eichner. However, court documents indicate that she is the suspect's stepmother. So Walter McNeil said Phoenix had access to one of his stepmother's personal weapons, which was one of the weapons found at the scene. He had a handgun and a shotgun with him at the time of the shooting. Jessica Eichner has been a deputy with the department for more than 18 years, and her service to this community has been exceptional, he said. The 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Youth Advisory Council. Phoenix had been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family, McNeil said. It's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. Eichner was previously at the center of a protracted battle between his parents that featured a custody dispute stretching from the Florida Panhandle to Norway, according to court documents. At the time of the custody dispute, the suspect was a child and was known as Christian Gunnar Erkison. He changed his name in 2020 and is now identified as Phoenix Eichner. Christian was taken by his biological mother to Norway in March 2015 in violation of a child custody order, according to a 2015 probable cause affidavit from the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Anne Marie Erickson was accused of telling Christian's father, Christopher Eichner, that she was taking him to South Florida for spring break. Instead of staying in Florida, the defendant allegedly fled the country with him in violation of their custody agreement, the affidavit says. Christopher advised that Christian was developmentally delayed and has special needs, which he feared would not be taken care of without access to his doctors here in the United States. The sheriff's affidavit said the child was on medication for several health and mental issues, to include a growth hormone disorder and ADHD. The documents state that Christian and his biological mother were dual citizens of the United States and Norway. Christian was eventually brought back to the United States. His mother was arrested at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in July 2015 and later pleaded no contest to illegally removing the child from Florida. In October 2015, Anne-Marie Eckerson filed a lawsuit alleging slander and libel on behalf of herself and her son against the father and Christian's stepmother, Sheriff Deputy Jessica Eichner, along with 2 other relatives. The emotional and psychological harm done to the minor child will be evident for years and will require counseling, and given The child, being the age of 11, will have memory impacted by the behaviors of all defendants for the false claims done on his mother, for the parental alienation of the close relationship of the minor child, the lawsuit claimed. The lawsuit sought more than $80,000 in damages to us toward Christian's college fund. A judge dismissed the suit 7 months later. In her first comments on the shooting, Anne Marie Erickson told ABC News on Friday she cannot discuss the incident without crying. When I heard what had happened, I was frantic, though he might be the one hurt. And then when I found out it was him, I just collapsed at work, Erickson said. The investigation into the motive of the deadly shooting is ongoing. Police said during the press conference the law enforcement response to the shooting was massive and very quick. We are working multiple crime scenes, and there are potential hundreds, if not thousands, of witnesses. Phoenix did not comply with commands before being shot by responding officers. You guys, wow. All right, you guys, the grandmother of Phoenix Eichner is speaking to the press. The grandmother of Phoenix Eichner, the Florida State gunman, accused his parents of influencing the campus shooting that left 2 dead, several others injured, ripping the couple as rotten bastard people. Susan Erickson blamed her grandson's father and stepmother, Sheriff Deputy Jessica Eichner, for turning the sweetest kid into an alleged ruthless killer who claimed the lives of 2 and wounded 5 others when he used his stepmom's pistol to open fire on the Tallahassee campus Thursday afternoon. They taught him how to hunt. They're bigoted people. They hated a lot of people, the 79-year-old grandma said at her condo in the Florida Capitol on Friday. He was the sweetest kid, smart, she said, while briefly sobbing before adding, the rotten bastard people. I have no idea what we're going to do now. I have no idea. Erickson, the alleged shooter's maternal grandmother, claimed she hasn't seen her 20-year-old grandson in 10 years. Repeated attempts to see him went unanswered, following a contentious custody battle between Eichner's biological mother, Anne Marie Erickson, and his father. It's very upsetting. You just don't think this is going to happen. There's a lot of up and down today. The FUSU student killed 2 employees of food service company Aramark, Robert Morales, 57, and Tiru Chaba, 45, wounded 5 others before he was shot by officers. Of course, he's expected to survive. Footage circulated on social media depicted a terrifying scene of carnage. Panic as the lone gunman fired rapid shots, seemingly random, people near the campus and student union building. Eichner, who was caught with a handgun and shotgun, has since been described as someone who taunted white supremacist views, toted, and spewed gross racial rhetoric, according to his classmates. So, why did he shoot white people? One classmate, Lucas Lucetti, chillingly recalled thinking that this man should not have access to firearms. I got into arguments with him in class over how gross the things he said were. We are not supposed to do. His mother was a cop. The Florida doesn't have very strong red flag laws. Police have not yet offered a motive behind the mass shooting. Thursday afternoon, Phoenix Eichner opened fire on campus at Florida State University, killing 2 and injuring 6 more. Allegedly, that young man was the son of Jessica Eichner, and the gun belonged to her. Phoenix Eichner is a 20-year-old student at the university, and his stepmother serves in the Leon County Sheriff's Department. Unfortunately, he had access to one of her weapons. The sheriff said at a press conference, though McNeil did not name her, the Leon County website lists Jessica Eichner as a deputy. This event is tragic in more ways than you people in the audience could ever fathom from the law enforcement perspective. This was a young man who had grown up in the center of the local community, and he was a member of the youth committee. And Ms. Eichner worked for 18 years. The Phoenix fired at the Student Union building, Tallahassee campus, shortly before noon on Thursday. After initially refusing to comply with demands, he was confronted by police and taken to the local hospital. On Friday, Tallahassee police confirmed that he was expected to survive. The 6 patients wounded in the shooting were expected to survive. According to authorities, the firearm was a former service weapon used by Jessica Eichner in her role as deputy sheriff. It is not unusual for police officers to purchase their work weapons. In Florida, when a sheriff's office is replacing a firearm, it must be disposed of according to the state and federal regulations. Police said Phoenix also had a shotgun in his possession, but had not confirmed by Thursday night. Eichner is from Tallahassee, where the university campus is located, and grew up in the area. In the law enforcement community, according to McNeil, he was engaged in a number of training programs that we have. Okay, this is very sad, you guys. That you could just pick up a weapon and just start shooting people. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Once this thing stopped tripping, thing is tripping. Okay, so Eichner has a long history of community involvement, including giving press. Okay, maybe that was the wrong one. Probably talking about the mama. All right, you guys, this is sad, and nobody should ever go through this. And I hate that people in the comments goes, well, it's the usual suspect. Usual suspect. Who cares if it's a white man? Nobody cares. This is tragic and this is sad. Something's going on that everything in schools are ramping up like this. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, YouTube.